Welcome to Built for War, episode number 5. And I'm gonna give you a little bit of preface. And as I give you this preface, if you're watching this, you're gonna see me from time to time look off to the side. That's because I have notes, and these notes matter to me. So here's what I want to read to you guys. I believe that I am here because I am called to empower and mentor the underdogs of the world. And what I mean by that, before I go any further, I look back to myself when I was a teen, right? I look back to myself when I was in my early 20s, and I was somebody who was working in a career that I did not love. I worked at a call center, door-to-door sales, personal trainer, a wide variety of things. I tested out a lot of different careers, and I was working in what I call a shadow career. I'm going to get into that in just a moment, exactly what that is. But if you are somebody who lives in fear, you live in shame, but you have ambition for a better life, this content was built for you. And what I can make is one promise. I can make one guarantee. If you show up day after day after day, and you leverage the information that I'm giving you, I'm telling you, you're going to create a better life for yourself. It's going to take a long time. It's going to take you about a year. I'm going to show you something about how I made this transition with literal proof. The literal proof of how I went from somebody who was making $30,000 a year, right, $25,000 a year with 2 kids, to somebody who was earning 6 figures within 16 months. In the literal process, exactly the timelines, everything. Now, I want to give one more preface. I am not here to be your friend, but I am here to be the mentor to you and to provide you with the truth, right? The cold truth. And what I mean by that is a lot of people are creating content because they want to be liked. What I found is I have a business, I have success. I don't need to be liked by any of you watching this. What I do need to know is that I'm doing something to help my younger self. What I found is there's a lot of you out there that are just like me when I was younger. And I want to do everything I can to speak to that younger guy or girl to transform your life, right? So that is what this is about, how you could have your rags to riches story. Now, the specifics. This person or this episode was recorded for 3 different types of people. Right? So if you say yes to any of these 3, this was specifically built for you. Number 1, you are working a shadow career. And a shadow career is a career where you have low expectations and you have no chance of failure. And you especially don't have to have any risk of proving yourself. You're working the Uber driver job, right? You're working in a warehouse. You're a teacher. You have a very simple job. You're not going to get fired most likely. And you're not challenging yourself whatsoever. You are not turning pro. You are not doing what you are meant to do. You don't have the lifestyle you want. You don't have the career you want. But you're getting by and there's no expectations, right? If you are having a shadow career, there's no expectations for you. Number 2, you have a pattern of not making the decision to change your life, right? You are terrified to make the risky decision, put expectations on yourself, and bet on yourself. And number 3, you struggle with self-confidence and self-management. This is really, really, really important. If you are somebody who struggles with self-confidence, let me describe what that means. You look in the mirror and you can't say with confidence, you can do this. I call this mirror work when I work and I mentor all the students inside the program. Mirror work is your ability to look in the mirror and say, you know what, I can do this. Nathan, you can do this. If you can't look in the mirror and tell yourself that, you have a lot of mirror work you need to do. You're going to be bullshitting for a very long time. You may not believe it for a long time. That's completely fine. But what you do have to do, you have to get to the point to where you can look in the mirror and you can believe it. And it might take several hundred repetitions. I'm going to be transparent. Right? It'll take a long time. And you have to prove it to yourself too. How do you prove it? Mastery, repetitions. I'm going to describe that in just a moment. And self-management is your ability to follow through with your actions, your ability to set a plan and perform with that plan regardless of how you feel. What I want to show you is something really interesting. And the reason why this is interesting is my story is the DNA of Devslopes, right? I graduate high school. I go to college for a semester. I just didn't really get it. Like, it just wasn't really my thing. I didn't have it as a priority, not because I was some entrepreneur with a crazy story. No. My mom was a chiropractor. My dad worked at a prison. I didn't come from a trust family, right? I was literally poor. Like I was literally poor. I had to have friends and family help feed me. It was not a good scenario, right? I was a personal trainer. I worked at Olive Garden. I had all these different jobs. I couldn't hold a job, to be transparent. It was a really hard time for me, but I was willing to do whatever I could to learn. Every day I was learning. Every day I was listening to audiobooks. I was reading books. And I knew I had an idea for what I wanted. I had this idea that I wanted to have a business and I wanted to help people like myself. And then down the road, eventually I was able to afford a program. It cost about $2,000 and it was just a program, right? And I was able to eventually find a mentor and I was able to really transform my life because of that. That is the reason why I created Devslopes. I wanted to create somewhere to where people had mentors that they could work with that are proven to show them, number one, how to get the hard skills, the technical skills. Number two, how to get the soft skills, how to communicate with people, how to sell yourselves, and how to get the self skills, which is self-confidence and self-management. If you don't have self-confidence and self-management, regardless of your technical skills or your soft skills, you're not going to be able to move forward with anything because you're just going to self-sabotage. So what I want to show you here is something that really stood out to me. And I see this every single year in December because it pops up in my Facebook stories. And I think that this might be something that could help a lot of you. So I'm going to transition here. You're going to see on the left side of the screen, December 9th, 2016. I believe in making declarative statements, declaring your intention and setting strong intentions. My goal, number one, earn 6 figures in the next 36 months. This is going to be a huge step in this process. And I joined this program, and this was a really scary decision. This is a really, really scary decision. And at the time when I joined this, I just want to give context. I spent all the money I had to join this program. I had nothing left. I'm even going to mark out the other side. I have nothing left. This cost me $400 a month to buy it. And it was a scary, scary investment. And so this is what I did. During this time, I got a job, right? I was working at a call center. I also had a door-to-door sales job. I jumped a whole bunch of jobs in this 1 year long period. And so I did that job during the day to just get bills, right? I was maybe paid $8.50 an hour at the time. Then every night from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m., I would go drive for Uber. And I would study this material. I would listen to audiobooks. I would consume. And part of this consumption process was learning how to be a professional, learning how to communicate, learning how the people that I wanted to be talked, right? I was listening to all the podcasts, everything. I was consumed with this. It consumed my entire life. I wasn't going out. I wasn't hanging out with friends. I was miserable to be around because this is the only thing I fucking cared about. I cared about nothing else in the entire world. And then for about 3 to 6 months, I tried to get freelance work and I had no success whatsoever. So between Uber rides, I would go out and try to get this freelance work. No one cared. I even begged people to work there for free. I begged people, hey, I will work for you for free. No one cared. No one wanted my help whatsoever. So I sat there, I was like, this is not working. So I started doing what I consider the scientific process. I started testing lots of different proven things, right? And then I was able to get freelance work. And it took one freelance project. I want to explain to everybody, I got lucky. The reason why I'm the CEO of a 7-figure company that's done well over 15 million annual revenue, right? And total sales, nearly 20 million in total sales in just 4 years with no money behind me, no investments, nothing. That's luck. But to make the initial jump, that was simple luck. That was the luck of putting in the reps, right? Lining up the shots, being comfortable missing 99 shots, knowing that I just need one to go in. I just need one. So I was willing to play the numbers. So that's the first lesson I want everybody watching here. You must be comfortable playing the numbers to make your career transition, to make your lifestyle transition, to take control of yourself, to become a master of a new domain, to open up new possibilities for yourself. You must endure. You must understand that the ability to endure a substantial amount of pain. When I made this initial post, what you don't see, I'm kind of bummed because I wasn't able to get the screenshot. There's like 2 likes on it. And you know what? Everybody, oh, you're going to be Mr. Millionaire now? I remember my grandma before she passed, obviously, great woman. But she looked at me one day and talked to her about how I wanted to make these things happen. She was like, oh, so you're going to become a millionaire? Like, okay, good luck to you. I remember a time where my father made a video. I told him we're driving through a park and I said, yeah, I want to make 6 figures one day. He said, oh, okay, good luck with that. I'm never going to let those things leave my memory. They will never leave my memory. My mom at the time, bless her heart, she was being nice. So, David, don't say that about him. Maybe he can. Maybe he can. Well, worse is it was pity. No one believed in me. My best friend, Johnny, even said to this day, Nathan, I didn't see any of this happening to you, to be honest. No one would have guessed this, right? My high school math teacher, I call her and she said, Nathan, I never would have guessed this. That's what this content is about. How do you get your rags to riches story? Guess what? Things still aren't easy. Things are still really, really hard. Running a company is really, really hard. Making your transition, you're never going to be there. You're accepting that the journey to bet on yourself will always have obstacles, right? And you need to understand that the obstacle is the way, right? Courage is calling you every single day. You are meant to be called to do amazing things, but you first need to step up to gate, right? So I want to show what happened, right? I get a freelance project that was paying $350 a week. It changed my life. I couldn't believe it. $3,500 a month. I believe I could be wrong with math. Don't judge me too much, but it absolutely changed my life. It's not $3,500 a month, my fault, but it absolutely changed my life. I couldn't believe that money, right? First thing I did is I went out to a nice dinner. And then I want to show you one thing in particular. December 9th, 2016. December 7th, 2017. It only took 4 years. My biggest short-term goal in life has been to work remotely. The idea of remote work first became a thought in my mind in high school. I wanted to have a chance to work freely being in Mexico, Canada, Colorado, East Coast, West Coast, etc. And it's finally possible. But where do I start? Maybe with the fact that I dropped out of college my first semester. Or maybe with the fact that I was married. I couldn't legally drink at my own wedding. But there was the truth that I wasn't and never have been the smartest kid in school. My point is, whoever you are, whatever you came from, your dreams are just one step away from where you are today. So what did I do to make this possible? Number one, I found a practical skill and learned how to market and sell myself, as well as others, products and services, right? If I could suggest anything, I would learn how to sell yourself and anything else you can. Communication skills, real world experience, and hustling are the only requirements for building your dreams and financial fortitude. This is the entire model of Devslopes, right? Give you the best education in the world, obviously, but provide you and surround you with the mentors you need. The mentors you need is number one, you need a remarkable hard skills mentor. Number two, you need a self skills mentor, someone to hold you accountable and help you build that self-confidence and that self-management. And number three, someone to teach you the soft skills. How do you sell yourself, right? How do you communicate with others? How do you recognize your own internal patterns, right? Your own self-sabotage and help pull you out of that. That's what all of this is about. You need to find those three mentors. Luckily, we do that within Devslopes. But for all of you watching right now, maybe you don't have the money to invest in something like that. I understand, right? It's not easy for everybody. But this is what I want everybody watching to understand. In 1 year, my entire life changed. And I want to give context. There wasn't a single family member that allowed this transition to happen. There wasn't a single network friend that I knew to help make this transition. All of it was online. All of it was leveraging Facebook groups. And all of it was investing an ungodly amount of time in being different. I've been posting a lot of information on LinkedIn, talking about how you need to be different if you want to stand out, how you need to be able to truly stand out by putting in the extra time and effort. And that's what this is for. So I really want to emphasize real quickly, the last bit of my notes real fast. For anybody looking to make this transition, you need to find your passion and your purpose in your failure and in the painful repetitions of the grind. This is the mastery mindset. You have to accept that for you to make the transition, you must be undoubtedly, right? Undoubtedly dedicated to the grind that you're about to go through. And understand nothing is going to be in your way because your family needs it, right? Who in your family has been the trendsetter? If nobody, it's your turn. It's your turn to step up and be the trendsetter. I know for myself, I want to change my family's last name. I want to be the wealthiest savage ever to be on this planet. I want to change my family's generation for generations. I want wealth to be there for everybody. I want my kids to be able to go work in nonprofits if they want to. I want them to be able to do what they love, right? I'm willing to pay that price. For some of you, you just want to make that career transition and set a standard that you don't have to be that warehouse worker. You don't have to work off unemployment, live off unemployment. You don't have to work the corners. You can be the individual who changes your entire family. That's the entire purpose of what I'm doing. Built for War is this concept to where you are built for everything that life throws at you. And all the content that I'm creating is specifically built for that. That's what this is for. That's what all of this is about, for you to be able to face whatever life throws at you, right? I've spent thousands of dollars on therapy. I have a session tomorrow, right? All the unique insights that I'm getting. I spent over $200,000 on training within the company, working with the world's best mentors, right? The world's best business mentors, saying, hey, what can I learn here? What can I learn here? Oh, yeah, yada, yeah, yada. Great. I'm going to bring all this and give it to you students, right? I'm treating anybody watching this, regardless if you're a program or not, you are my student. I'm putting everything that I have into you guys to support you in this process. Now, here's my one key that I want each and every one of you to write down. This is going to really matter. And I pulled this from my mentor, Patrick by David. We call it the 4 O's. Okay. Grab that pen, pull out the piece of paper, write this down. This is your motto. This is your framework to make this career transition in the next year. Number 1, outwork. You have to outwork everybody around you. You have to outwork your peers. You have to understand there's some guy in some basement right now, right? Sitting down, listening to the podcasts, listening to the books, reading the books, watching the YouTube channels, doing all those things. Number 2, you have to outlearn everybody. All right, so outwork is putting in the repetitions. Outlearn is putting that time in learning. Number 3 is out-improve. You have to out-improve these individuals. You have to prove that you can grow at a faster rate than them, not just learn. Improve is your productivity, your overall skills are better than everybody else's. And finally, you just have to outlast them. If you do all 3, but you don't last as long as everybody else, it's game over. You got them beat. They're cooked. It's game over. You have them beat. Rest assured. This is the cornerstone of how you make a transition when you are in your rags to riches story. It's not fun. It's not easy. It's painful. It's boring. It is so boring, right? But there's a reason why no one is able to make the transition. Why it's so hard for everybody to make the transition. It's not an accident. None of this is going to be accident. And yes, there is luck involved, but the luck comes from you creating luck. You create your own luck. So when you're watching this, I want you to reflect on everything here. I'm not here to be your friend. You might be working a shadow career where you have no expectations of yourself. Time to change. It's time to invest in a program like Devslopes, where you have to put yourself in the line. You have expectations. You've made an investment. It's time for you to show up. Number 2, it is time for you to learn how to make that decision. If you've been wanting to make a change in your life for the past year to 5 years plus, which a lot of us have been wanting to make some kind of change for a long time, but you haven't made it because you want to think about it, you want to speak to a friend, you want to speak to the wife, can you really afford it? The answer to that is yes, you can afford it. No, you don't need to speak to anybody else, right? And yes, you have the time. No, you don't need to take more time to think about it. If you know for a fact you will put in the time, it might be a little ugly, right? You need to pull the trigger. I'm telling you this because I waited for a while. And whenever I looked at that program and saw that it was going to cost $300 to $400 a month, I was horrified. I didn't have the money. I just signed up for it. I made the first payment and I was like, there's going to be 6 more payments. I'm going to have to just figure out how to do it. I don't really know how. I think I can drive for Uber. I think I can do this. I think I can do this. Right? And I was able to just figure it out. That's a year of just figuring it out will transform your entire life. It'll transform your entire life. Nothing will ever be the same. And you have to be able to look in the mirror, practice this. Look in the mirror. I can do this. I can become a software engineer. I can become a marketer. I am a problem solver. I am a creative thinker. I am whatever you want to be. You just look in the mirror, say that over, and you never stop. You never stop saying that. Then you repeat the 4 O's. I'm going to outwork. I'm going to outlearn. I'm going to out-improve. I'm going to outlast every one of these people around me. Every one of my peer group, I'm going to out-4-0 all of them. Non-negotiable. Because these are just effort. This is just effort. If you put in this effort, I promise you, the outcome is guaranteed. It is now simply an aspect of how long will it take, right? There will be people that disagree with what I'm saying. I don't care, right? I really don't care, because this was the proven framework that I followed to change my life. It's the proven framework that all my students are using to change their lives. And I'm telling you, if you just stop looking for more information, find the information that I'm giving out and dedicate and dive into it, your life will never be the same. Thank you so much for watching. I can't explain what it means to me to know that I have the ability to create content. Even if it gets 20 to 50 views, I don't really care. Most of the people watching it are the students within the program. Those are the individuals I'm making it for. I'm making it for the guys like me and the girls like me when I was younger, wanting to make this transition. I just needed the mentor, right? I just needed the person to show me how to develop the self skills, right? How to develop the soft skills, how to sell myself, how to develop the hard skills, right? How to become the technical individual I need to, right? Follow if you want to find those things out. In addition, I'm posting a lot of absolutely game changing information on how to make career transitions, how to stand out to recruiters, how to stand out in the interview process, everything on LinkedIn. Go dive into those articles and consume them. They're going to transform your entire life. If you need anything else, just comment below, right? Hit me up on IG, just Nathan Savage. Hit me up on LinkedIn, Nathan Savage. Comment below anything and just ask for the help. I'm giving it out to anybody, right? I am here, like I said, to help those underdogs make their career transitions, build that lifestyle they want, achieve their biggest and wildest dreams, and have their rags to riches story. If you want that, I'm the guy for you. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll talk to you here soon.